we have a lot in common, and our vision of life is very similar. Yet, I still don't believe that's why our marriage works.
Mm-hmm. Why do you believe?
I do believe I have unconditional love for you.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Dave Tina.
And I'm Angie Tina.
Welcome to the 10-Year Marriage Podcast.
On this podcast, we answer the question, what if your marriage came with a 10-year contract?
How would you show up if there was a deadline in your relationship? What would your life look like in the future? And how would you recommit every day?
Come with us on this journey as we navigate as partners, entrepreneurs, and parents in this big life we've created.
Welcome back to the wild and wacky adventures of Dave and Angie. This week, we will be talking about our latest dive into equine therapy or equine assisted coaching, because technically
Equine assisted coaching.
We're not therapists. And what we really want to do is unpack not just the practice of what this is, which is interesting in itself, but what comes up over and over and over again as we are student/clients of this, coaches, and then observers, because we watched so many of them over like a 3-day period.
Let's share what equine assisted coaching is specifically. So equine assisted coaching is really using the horse. I feel like it's a partnership between the facilitator, the horse, and the client. The horse is a perfect mirror for language that is unspoken, all the invisibles that come forward. So as a facilitator, we're kind of just using the horse. The horse is really the coach. The horse is really the one that's showing up. And as a facilitator, you're asking questions, you're analyzing what the horse is doing, and you're just guiding the session through for these magical experiences to come forward and these realizations that most people can't get through talk therapy. I mean,
so let's go a little bit deeper. Let's set the table here.
Yeah.
Right. You have a round pen, which is what it sounds like.
Yep.
It's, I don't know, maybe 30 feet in diameter.
Well, most of them are 50
Are they 50
foot,
feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. I didn't know you do that. I didn't. 50 feet in diameter. And you just bring in a horse. A horse doesn't have to be trained. I don't think a horse can be trained in this type of therapy or coaching.
They're not like, horses are not like, oh, they're certified to do equine assisted therapy or coaching. Like they are just, any horse can do this.
They're just horses.
Right.
Right. And so you'll bring in a horse. Then you have the guide/coach, which, depending upon who you talk to, can be a catalyst or can just be
just
a guide,
the facilitator. Yeah.
A facilitator.
Yep.
I think, and we'll get more into it, the guide that definitely matters.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the client,
the
person who's going to actually get coached or have therapy done to. And so you're right. Normal coaching, or the coaching that I've done, or therapy, like to me, these are my complete stereotypes. Therapy can be slow, right? Therapy is like, to me, like reading Hemingway. Like everything is described in detail. It's a very slow process. Like some of these books I'll read, I'm like, man, I can't do another page of reading about what the flowers look like in the setting, right? Like, let's get on with it. Some of the coaching I've been a part of and have done, like Tony Robbins or with Garrett White, is more breakthrough coaching, right? There's going to be
results-oriented, outcome-oriented, that kind of thing.
Yes. And it could be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you come out with a realization.
Yep.
Right. And then there's this. This, depending upon how you facilitate it, can be either one of those things.
Right.
And so when you go in, the facilitator/coach/guide will start the conversation with the client.
Yeah. Well, typically it starts with a settling in, like a drop-in, like a moment to just really like get present, get in the space. Right. And then the student or the client normally has some type of situation, some type of issue, some type of intention that they're bringing to the session itself. And that's where the facilitator and the student talk about that to see what kind of comes up.
And then the horse will energetically respond to what you're talking about.
Right.
Right.
With the interaction with the horse.
And it becomes kind of like a dance. Right. You got to make sure that your energy as the coach is not getting in the way with the horse, right? It becomes this little hybrid of three entities,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? And so you go from there. You'll ask questions. What are you here for? What is your intention? There's a lot of ways to settle people in, and a lot of ways to ask the questions, and there's a lot of ways to, like, that dance I was talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you are trying to create some space, but at the same time, see if the horse can now give some breakthrough.
Yeah, and feedback.
For feedback. Yes, better word.
Yep.
For the person who's doing it. And every time it's so interesting how energetically, when the person is in flow and telling the truth, the horse will be drawn to it.
Mm-hmm.
And how, if they're lying to themselves or they're too much in their head and they're not in their heart, the horse will kind of, I don't want to say reject them, just won't be interested.
Well, it'll retreat, right? It's like, it's a mirror of, like, every emotion that they're feeling. The horse will do something, will give some type of feedback. And then the job of the session is to really just, like, analyze what is being spoken to you. Like, what is the horse telling you, right? Because I just actually listened to this new podcast about the same thing that we're talking about. And she says that she was talking about equine therapy and equine assisted coaching. I don't know. I got to look up her name. But she has been a coach for this for a long time. And she says that, a lot of people think that horses, like, if you're fearful around a horse will retreat. If you're fearful around a horse, but you're sitting in that fear and you're open to that fear, like, the horse will respond and will actually engage with you, like, in a peaceful, calm way.
Yeah. To me, it's not about the horse at all.
No.
It's I'm just thinking about this in real time.
Mm-hmm.
But the horse kind of represents God,
Mm-hmm.
the universe, flow state.
Yeah.
It is best version, the embodiment of our souls. Like, there is such a, like, natural beingness, presence
Mm-hmm.
to a horse that to me is the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And to watch it in real time is so incredible, because it's easy to take a moment and dismiss it or get a realization from a coach giving you the mirror and project onto that person. It's very hard to project onto a horse that can't talk, that doesn't know better, while it's giving you the truth that you need to see, hear, and feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the metaphors and opportunities for growth are, like, endless, like, because it's like, what I don't love about it, I love it, because it can be interpreted in a lot of ways and there's some abstractness to it.
Yeah.
But when it hits in a way that cannot be denied, an undeniable
100%.
way.
Yeah. And I think every single session that we observed, I think I, like, looked at you and was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Or I'd start crying or something. I wasn't even in the session, but, like, every time the horse did something, it, like, blew my mind how the horse responded. It's wild.
Even that, we were having different interpretations. Like, at one point when I was coaching a woman they brought in, the horse nipped at me in the back.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to unpack
what that was meaning.
What that meant.
Yeah.
Was it about me? Was it about the client? Was it about the horse? Was the horse uncomfortable in the moment? Was I not giving the client enough room? Was I pushing too hard? Was I not being in my authentic self, right? Like, there was a lot to be, because even though you're the guide, you're still in that.
Your energy field is still there.
You're there. Exactly. Yeah. So some of the takeaways from me, I guess the biggest one, because I believe this relates so much to relationships and especially marriage, is unconditional love. Now, I got to coach a session where it came up.
Yep.
But what I saw over and over and over again is what I believe is one of the biggest issues in our entire world, let alone society, let alone America, is this isolation and loneliness, right? Fear of rejection.
Unworthiness or being not enough, things
Yes.
like that. Yeah. It kind of always stems down to those three things, right?
It really does.
In different forms, but yes.
And it's such an inner game, right? And so I remember so many notes, but I was like, the way I got to this unconditional love thing is I wrote down when I was watching one of them, the more you deny yourself, your heart. This is actually coming to me in real time. But I was like, the more you deny yourself, your heart, love, soul, connection, the less you're going to get it from the horse.
Yeah. It's like the secret to being love is to love.
Yes. And so the first takeaway was unconditional love for another person. And so when I was in both of my sessions where I was the coach, it came up in different ways, right? One was in a relationship and one was in with their animals, right? Or what they give. And a lot of people, I don't believe that this is a stereotype at all, but let's just go there. If you're a horse person, or especially there's a lot of dog people or just an animal person in general, I think what people feel is that animals give them unconditional love. And I think that's total bullshit. And because I like going down a layer and be like, let's strip this down and go deeper and see what's really at work here.
Right.
All animals don't give unconditional love. There are animals that will attack you. There are animals that will ignore you. There are animals that will cower away in fear.
And they react differently to different humans, right? They're not just like unconditionally loving every person that comes in their field.
Exactly. The reason why they feel unconditional love from these animals that cannot talk and reject potentially or hurt them is because they're giving these animals unconditional love. They are literally showing up in this, I am going to pour all of this love because of a safety game that they believe that the animal can't hurt them.
Right.
They can't reject them. Of course the animal can hurt them and reject them. It could really hurt them. They could physically hurt them.
Yeah, and in horse world, they could kill you, right?
Yeah.
Not on purpose most of the time, but on accident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet, most of us have convinced ourselves that this unconditional love is safe because they give it back, not realizing that the secret of this game is the unconditional love is just coming back because they're giving it. And then you take it to humans, and we don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, even in my things, when I was like, I'm so like, I'm going to say this, and I want this still in the podcast. I'm so hesitant sometimes to talk about moments, even without names, because I don't want anyone to get, everyone takes everything wrong, right?
Yeah.
But in this moment, this is a loving moment, but be giving unconditional love to a horse, even if you're pretending it's a person, it can mess with you, right? Because it's so easy to give unconditional love to a horse, right? Because you're like, it loves me or whatever. But then when you even imagine this person, all of these things start coming up for us. I truly believe it's because one of our parents, we believed we didn't get unconditional love from.
It's from our past relationships or trauma, right?
The
And then
inner
it sticks
child,
with us.
right?
That story stays with us.
It's always the inner
And that
child
sense
and the
of
feelings.
rejection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the secret here is you're not going to get unconditional love unless you give it.
Right.
And then the thing that, to backtrack what we just started with, and that my aha moment was when I was like, if you deny yourself your heart, if you live in your head instead of your heart, you're not going to attract. The animal is going to walk away.
Yep.
Is the first person you should be giving unconditional love to
Yourself.
is yourself. And I know for a fact that I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, I feel like most people are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just it, is like opening your heart and like that heart. And I mean,
The heart the
Yes.
heart coherence,
Exactly.
right? The feeling it in the body.
yeah. And that's why this equine work is so important and so powerful, is because it's like, it takes just a second. I mean, the second you drop into your heart and get out of your head, the horse responds.
Yes.
Like, because they're so sensitive, just because nature has taught them, they're prey animals, right? So they've had to learn to be so sensitive to their environment, to their feelings, to their sensations, all the things. So the second somebody can drop into their heart, it truly like turns them around and opens them up.
So you're right. The equine therapy is so important because it does get you there, but it's also about what tools can get you there. I think that's why a lot of people are using psychedelics now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I have buddies who just went through DMT experiences. Ayahuasca is a big thing. Microdosing, these journeys,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's gotten harder and harder to drop in and get these faster.
Well, yeah, it's just, it's opening the layers, right?
It's opening the portal.
Right. Yep.
Right. And being able to truly see it. The horse is yet another tool. It's another way to get there.
Yeah.
But back to why. It's why this unconditional love, this worthiness thing is so important. And that's where I want to really anchor it into what this podcast, what our goal with relationships is about.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot in common. And our vision of life is very similar. Yet, I still don't believe that's why our marriage works.
Mm-hmm. Why do you believe?
I do believe I have unconditional love for you.
Oh,
That,
thank you.
and what's wild is because we've had the conversations in front of everybody about what it would take to break it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could say cheating, but for me, it's really like a lack of respect. Because if you cheat, you're really respecting. But the reality is, like, I unconditionally love our kids.
Mm-hmm.
How I realize I unconditionally love you is the fact that I put you as my emergency contact over my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time I did it today, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's still, I remember the first time I did it, it still blows my mind that, like, if something horrible happened, that the person I want them to call is you.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not like I don't have an option of my father.
Right. Or a friend or somebody else.
No, I would say my father, right?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying in people's lives, they could have their friend or.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I choose you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because if you can't give love freely, it's going to be very difficult to get it back because you're not going to be able to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine if I unconditionally loved myself that way.
Yeah.
How I could show up even from a creation of love in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And so I believe that in today's world where so many things are surface level, there's so many strings attached to so many things, to every single relationship, there's this transactional exchange, there's this quid pro quo type thing where how is it possible for people to feel like they're all in? How are you going to create something great when there's like, well, if they do this, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm only going to love them if they love me this way. Or I'm only going to feel loved if they have sex with me. Or I'm like, it's a broken game.
Yeah. And that's what we've been taught, right? We've been taught that, marriage is 50-50 and that, you both have to do this. Well, we learned at a very young age through Tony Robbins and different things that no, like marriage has to be like 100%. Like that person has to be giving 100% all as much as possible. Right. And the other person has to fill in the gaps. So if it's like 70-30 or 80-20, like the other person has to carry the weight sometimes of the relationship. But there was a great example. I think it was when we were in in-person event at Date with Destiny. And there was like the husband and wife that he was working with. And he told, I think it was the husband that didn't feel loved or something. And he was like, for the next, like, however long, I want you to love her. Like she's the only person on this planet.
Yeah, it was just a guy. Like, it was a foreign guy.
Yeah. And like, give her as much love as you can and then see how your marriage transitions and transforms. Right. Because that's what it's about. It's like giving that love. It's that simple. It's like, to be loved unconditionally, you have to love unconditionally. And that's that's why parents and children have such crazy connections. And
it's also why as kids get older, that unconditional love gets harder and harder.
yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because that's when they're under, let's say 11,
Mm-hmm.
it's, you get paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like that scoreboard, keeping score
keeping
type way,
score.
right? That's
Mhm.
why Gigi, it's so easy right now.
Right.
It's
Well,
so
and also she hasn't learned to, it's interesting because
she has not learned to withhold love.
right. Right. And she fully unconditionally loves herself.
Yes.
And when she starts to question that or to think about that, I mean, there's even a couple say, like, she's just recently started doing it. Like, if she gets in trouble or something or does something wrong, she's like, I hate myself.
Yep.
And we're like, we don't talk like that. Like, that's not language we use to ourselves. And she's like, but I hate myself. And then she'll like hit herself or something.
Because she thinks our love is conditional.
Right. Exactly. And so
Yeah,
she's
which is so
already,
sad.
and it's like a wall that's being built. Like, she never said that. She would always be like, I love myself. I love Gigi. Like, if anybody was like, who do you love? She'd be like, she'd always almost be like number one, But now she's starting to learn, because she's getting older, that like, okay, well, if I do something wrong or if I don't make the right choice, like maybe I won't feel love. And so she's starting to put up these little walls. And it's our job to try to keep them down as much as we possibly can.
Because there's so many rules, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's a great way, because a child is almost like a horse in that way. They can't necessarily communicate as well.
Right.
You're always giving it love completely, right? You're
Yep.
not in your head. How is a baby or a 4-year-old going to hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But even during her first year of life, when I was going through some stuff, she energetically rejected me
Yeah.
because I was
Well, in your head, and you were in your head.
I was in my head and not my heart,
Yep.
right? And so
Or when you're distant, like, or we're distracted with something else, like that's when these walls start to build.
it's so wild that you have to continually do this. I believe that's why you love being around the horses so much,
Mhm.
because you have to get inside of your heart, right? And there's a lot of ways to do this, but you got to get into heart, flow state, godlike state, connected to the universe. Like, these are these moments of letting go
Mm-hmm.
and letting the body take over.
Yeah. And now that you're even thinking about it, this just came up for me, so I feel like I should name it. But, I just was with our horses. I think the last time we did an equine session or an equine related topic on our podcast, we had not gotten our second horse yet. So we now have 2 horses. We have Cheddar and Cruz. Cheddar's our newer horse. But anyways, I had just gotten back from the barn this morning before this podcast, and I was at the barn and the horses were getting body work done, right? So she goes through and she massages
What's
them.
body work?
It's basically like seeing if they have any soreness, any tension, letting them release, stretching
Which,
them out.
by the way, old school horse people would be
It
would be like scoffing at this. You know what I mean?
here's my point,
Yeah.
is the fact, like, even the woman that was doing the body work was like, we were joking, and she was saying, because I was talking about Cheddar, and I was like, well, technically Cheddar is like for my husband. And she's like, oh, he's a great husband horse because he's super kind and super sweet and loving. It was like, funny enough, my husband actually has more horse experience than I even do, but he's perfect for him. And so she's like, oh yeah, so my husband, she's like, he always just tells me, he's like, if you only loved me as much as you love these horses.
It's great. There's a lot of horse people that do that.
A lot of animal people, even the dogs, right? If you loved your dogs as much as you love your spouse or your kids or whatnot. And what's interesting and what just came up is like the way that I care for them, like, has made me give myself and our family more care, because like I go to the horses, and like they could have like the tiniest little scratch, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta like put this on, I gotta fix it up, I gotta whatever.
I'm glad you're coming to this on your own, but continue.
So the fact, like, I care for them so much on that level, and I'm like, but then I come home and sometimes I'm like, wow, like my stomach hurts and I've just ignored it for 4 days. You know what I mean? I haven't addressed it. I haven't taken anything for it. I haven't eaten well. I haven't gone outside or go for a walk or exercised. I haven't taken care of myself even like I take care of these. So it's like that's why I think going out to the horses is so impactful for me, because I care so much and I'm giving so much love that because I'm giving that love, I'm feeling that love in exchange.
So are you open to exploring this a little bit?
I mean, sure.
Okay. Because
Not ideally with you, but yeah, go ahead.
so, okay, number one,
Uh-huh.
is it possible that when you're spending the time with the horses, you're giving yourself love because you're allowing yourself
To be present.
and to be doing something you love
Mhm.
without guilt or
Yeah.
any of the weird obligation,
100%.
right? So maybe you are meeting some of your needs and not putting yourself last. Maybe you're putting yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think?
It's
How do you
possible.
feel?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's I think why I'm so addicted to go out there, because it does reset my nervous system. It gets me focused. It gets me in the present moment. It blocks out all the noise. So I think that in a huge way, not just for them, but for me, it's like I crave that feeling now. I think you're starting to crave that feeling where you're like, man, I gone a couple of days without seeing them. Like I just need that like interaction because it is so healing.
I do believe that a lot of people feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
that have either a mother, because I felt that way with my mother for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
She'd show so much love to the horse and do so much for the horses, and everything would be about it. But I didn't realize, and Mom, if you're watching, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, or maybe I'm completely off base, but I could hurt her by not reciprocating the love that maybe she wanted from me.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy to then maybe direct it. You know, as a boy, you only feel it one way.
Right.
You don't realize that the parent's probably feeling it as well.
100%.
And so maybe you're less likely. So stupid little things. I think you give love pretty freely to all of us. I don't think that's an issue. But like making dinner for us
Mm-hmm.
versus setting up all the feed and going through all the things you have to do to care for them.
Mm-hmm.
The type of alfalfa versus hay, the grain, how you're in the, garage, separating them
the
out.
Supplements. Yeah.
You're doing you joke about, there's always a book being delivered for me. There's always something with the horse being delivered here. Right. I believe, and I want your take on this because it's about you, that because you don't enjoy or allow yourself to enjoy cooking is because you have this feeling of expectation, like they're not going to like it, they're not going to appreciate it.
No doubt.
Right? Rather than just be like, I love.
Yeah. And I would be able to put my love into the cooking, which right now it's like a chore.
Yes.
And then I'm like, and everybody's going to eat it before I even sit down. And then they're going to bitch about it, that it wasn't as good or wasn't as satisfying, or they're still hungry, or they're going to eat and then they're going to go in the kitchen and then they're going to eat more cereal by the handfuls or grab yogurt or do whatever after I'm like, oh, I just spent an hour making dinner and you're now eating something else or whatever that is. Like, I don't like that feedback that I get. So then I reject it.
It usually happens. And here's, again, I don't want to placing this on you because I'm very appreciative. And we just talked about in a recent podcast that I don't think has been released yet, where we were talking about self-image and how we can change how all the
feeling
stereotypes
we have about it. Yep.
Yeah. And so in that, I was like, I really want to learn how to cook. I don't want to have that feeling of like, I hate cooking or I'm not good at cooking. Like I want to learn how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to tell you, I'm coming from a place of appreciation because I haven't become that person yet. So there's a lot of pressure on you to cook. But I would say when you really enjoy cooking, the chances of all of us enjoying the experience go up exponentially.
You're right. And even you saying it, I'm like, ooh, I could make this fun. I could make it enjoyable.
Well, the things that you like to cook, like when you make the BLTs that we all love, you enjoy cooking it, we're going to love it. But when you half-ass it and just throw something together out of obligation, the energy goes to all of us and we're all like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's not on you. Like, I don't want this, but we're using this unconditional thing as an example, right?
Yep.
So it's so interesting. But there's an opposite one side too. Well, first of all, play that out, right? Like, you see, because recently the kids have made this comment. Not that you love them more, but you love the horses, but you put a lot of energy into it.
I do.
Right? It's a non-negotiable. You're not forgetting appointments with the horses. You're not, you're making sure they're being, the vets, the farrier, all the things we have to do for the kids. But you're allowing yourself to love the entire experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so talk about a metaphor.
I think there is something to be said for I get to versus I have to
Mm-hmm.
aspect, right? Like cooking's a perfect example. Like, oh, I have to, because if I don't, nobody else will. Like, I think, we actually, going back to the equine stuff, is we did a couple session during this last weekend.
Before you do go there,
Yeah.
This is going to be an unfair thing to say.
Okay.
But if we were reframing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened in Minneapolis yesterday with the 8 and 10-year-old?
Mm-hmm. What about it?
They're no longer with us because of it, right? The mothers of those kids, would probably do anything to be able to cook for their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this to you. I'm giving it to me too. Like every time, like if having kids sometimes an obligation, right? Or an have to, like I believe it's moments like that make it like that reframe.
Oh, totally. And I don't look at our kids as like we have to. Like I love and enjoy them.
I don't think you do at all. I think it's all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people feel all the other stuff. I know I do.
Yeah.
Right? In the morning, I'm like, oh shit, I got Gigi for 2 hours. Angie's with the horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, I'm not going to be able to go on a walk. I'm not going to be able to do this. Now she comes out with her little face and I'm like, I get in like an hour and a half of just me and Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
And we have built, like, we already had a bond. And this has turned into like some of my favorite time.
Totally.
And we have connected, right? And it kind of got forced on it.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same thing it was the same, I guess, reframe I had with picking up the girls, right? When I was working a lot, I would be like, oh my God, I got to pick up the girls from school. And they went to 3 different schools at the time. And I was like, this is crazy. And now, like, I wouldn't pay somebody to go pick them up. Of course I wouldn't pay somebody, but I wouldn't want somebody to go pick them up. Like, I want to pick them up. It's my favorite part of the day.
You know what's interesting too?
Mm-hmm.
Is we never figured out like a full-time nanny type thing because we were in that pocket of like, we need a lot of help so we can go do more things. Mm-hmm. And remember how we kept like going back and forth going, why do we want to pay someone else to do this?
Yeah, this is what we enjoy doing.
And there's so much about like optimization and getting help and you know what I mean? Like, remember we had those conversations, like imagine if one of our kids got hurt and they reached for the nanny versus us. Mm-hmm. And that's a way to really lose your way, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, back to the unconditional love and the horses. But you see, you brought it up. So I was like, this is an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people will go above and beyond for these horses, dogs, right? Like, it's almost annoying how people are with their dogs sometimes.
Yeah.
They will spend thousands of dollars to fix a dog's like leg. And you're like, are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah.
But it makes sense because they're unconditionally loving this thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas they won't allow that love. They won't allow that joy. They won't allow, I'm guilty of this.
Yeah.
With people right in front of them.
Right. 100%.
It just.
Not even for themselves, but also not for their spouse or the people that are in their lives, their relationships. Yeah.
And this is the hitting. Now, here's the second part. And I do want to get into the couples thing. And I think this plays. When you give unconditional love, if you're not getting it back after a certain amount of time, you definitely have to make sure your boundaries are correct. Mm-hmm. And I think I know you deal with this with the horses sometimes because if you treat them too much like pets, they will take full advantage.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's one of the awesome things about equine assisted coaching is like you learn boundaries real quick. Like they're also mirrors for that. Like they show up in any way that you need them to in those ways. Well, and it comes back to just the 10-year marriage concept that we always talk about is like, you don't have to do anything, right? You get to renew a contract. You get to set more, get excited about your future and your compelling future with your spouse or your significant other, or your partner. You get to create a life together. You don't have to, right? You could easily not.
Listen, I'm in total agreement with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard that statement so many times that it's almost like, oh yeah, like you know it, but you don't embody it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I'm like, I know that a frame shift for me to just be in gratitude and appreciate, to want it and not need it, to get to do it and not have to do it is the way.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, though, it's easy to do it.
No, of course not.
Or you get reminded of it. So I want to be like cognizant of the fact that people listening to this or watching it are like, sure, but how?
Mm-hmm.
How do I shift to that feeling of gratitude, that feeling of unconditional love without all the baggage that comes with it and the triggers that come with it don't come into play?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we could talk about this all we want, and then it could be dinner tonight, and then the whole pattern plays out again.
Right.
Right? Where everyone goes and does their same thing, and it's like, all right, how do I show up? Or like, I'm going to give unconditional love to everyone around me, right?
Yeah.
And then you're not getting the response back.
Well, yeah, you're giving so much energy and you're not filling up with new energy, right? Because you're not getting it reciprocated.
So I don't want to coach you, but this I think is an interesting question.
Okay.
It's kind of rhetorical. What happens when you give unconditional love to an animal that has not been treated with unconditional love before? Will they automatically give it back?
No, you have to earn their trust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see how I just threw it out to, like, instead of saying like give unconditional love to another human, it's impossible to picture that spouse or that without all the shit that comes with it. But if I say give unconditional love to a animal that is not used to it.
Yeah. So I guess you just answered the question, right? Like, how do you get unconditional love from your significant other or your partner? Well, you have to start by giving it and not expect it immediately. You have to build trust with that unconditional. You have to build trust, right? Like, there's a process that's in place. There were these really deep patterns that were grooved in with how you guys showed up in your relationship. And now you have to rewire those patterns.
I know you brought up how you and I, you were going to talk about how we did couples,
Mm-hmm.
kind of assisted coaching. And they used us as an example because we're married.
Yep.
Right. Which was cool. And as a connection, I think it really showed how connected we are. But I don't want to gloss over this. I do kind of want to beat this thing with a dead horse because I don't feel like people would be, even me, as I'm talking about it. Like, I'd be sitting there going, okay, I get this. All right, I have to love myself unconditionally. Well, all right, how do I do that? And then I have to love the other person unconditionally. Well, how do I do that? All right, well, I have to get into a moment of flow state or a feeling of flow state. I got to get into my heart. I have to feel like this gratitude. Like, how do I do that?
Yeah, but you're already making it
not in your heart.
Yeah.
I understand, but like, that's the art and science, right? Yeah. We talk about all the time. We're sitting here with another couple.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell, like, they were going through the motions, or maybe they lost the spark, or they lost the fire. And we were talking about equine therapy, equine assisted coaching. And we were like, we should get
Don't mock it.
I hate the fucking rules around it, right? I'm not a therapist. I get it. But we were sitting there with them, and we're like, we're going to put you in the arena, or we're just going to have a conversation with you right here and now.
Mm-hmm.
How could we get through to them to get into their heart and to show each other unconditional love?
I mean, I think it depends on the person. It depends on the specific situation and the environment. Like, when you said it just there, I was like, we need to bring them back to what does unconditional love even look like to them? What does it feel like in their bodies? How does it show up in their own frames?
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. And then walk them through that path and walk them through it with each other. And like, what unconditional love looks like to you and what it looks like to me may be two completely different things.
So what does unconditional love feel like to you?
Well, it feels like being in the present, and it feels like being in the flow, and there's glimmers of it all the time throughout my day, right? Like, I think we get so caught up in what's not going our way than what is going our way, or not even our way, but what's going right. And so I think it's just being fully aware and present of what's right in those times. Like, you can irritate the shit out of me sometimes, but when like I'm in it with you, you know it. When I'm in my flow and when I'm not in my head and I'm totally in my heart, like, you can feel it. I feel it. I'm like, we could take on the world, and it could be something as simple as like when we're walking and talking, or when we're sitting at a dinner, or when we're sitting on the couch. Or yesterday we were trying to pull each other's pants down because we were joking, and we were like laughing and giggling, like literally trying to de-pants each other because we were irritated with each other. And like, that to me is like, that's what it's about. It's like those moments, or it's the moments when I like go and watch the kids and they're sleeping, and I'm like, man, like I was able to like be part of this life and this creation. And like, so I think it's really just getting in touch with what that feels like,
So presence.
Yeah.
Soul connection.
Yeah.
Alignment.
Mm-hmm.
With yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing it with the other person. Right? I mean, these are the things that you're explaining.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're in your heart, you're in the now. If you're present, you're in your heart, you're not in your head.
Mm-hmm.
You're in flow, you're in touch with God, you're in touch with the energy fields, and right?
Yeah.
Like
the source of life, your chi, like all the
exactly,
things, right?
Your dharma,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't necessarily have to be embodied in yourself, but it could be embodied in the moment. And that's how people get glimpses of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings it all the way back to like what you just sent me this morning
Mm-hmm.
with that crazy bald guy.
Yeah.
When he was like, life doesn't have meaning. There's no purpose to life. It's the meaning you give that creates life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it's the purpose. And so it's the flow state.
Yep.
Right?
And it's just the meaning that you give it.
And when you're connected.
Yeah.
That's how you give the meaning. And so it can happen. It could start from within. It can start from the other person. It could start from the moment. But we must be inviting in, embodying, and allowing these very natural states to not just show up because they're already there, but to like have the ability to allow them to just.
Yeah, and embrace them.
Yes. And then, boom, off you go. Right? But if you're in this highly spiritual, aware, and connected place, and you're walking around like a happy fucking idiot, and somebody isn't in that isn't necessary. You could go two ways with this. You're either going to shine a light and people will come to it, or you're going to shine a light and they are going to be blinded by the sun and run.
Yeah. And depending on how that person's walking throughout that environment, they may not even be able to realize the person's not reciprocating because their light is shining so bright and they're so in it that that's their reality.
And then not fall for the trap.
Mm-hmm.
That because someone doesn't react to your unconditional love for yourself, that you stop giving that and embodying that because of an external factor. That is really hard. That's when you stop keeping score. You may notice it, but if you're truly in that state,
yeah,
nobody can get you off of it.
And that's why the work with the horses is so magical.
And so as couples, that is the key. That is why it's 10-year marriage. When you start thinking into the future, what I want my life to be like, what meaning do I want it to have? How am I going to express that meaning? What is my life like now? These are soul questions. These are purpose questions.
Mm-hmm.
These are, how am I showing up now? So if you're not having these conversations internally with yourself and externally with the person you're going to spend the most time with, then you're dead on arrival. You got no shot.
Well, you do. All you have to do is change it. You could change it just like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if it does happen and you can't name it and you're like, ooh, I want that. That happened. That's why people are like, I had that night, that special night, or that moment, or that trip, and they can't understand why that thing was so special.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they got glimpses of what's possible.
Yeah. So it comes back to what I just said. Comes back.
You just want people to get it right away.
No, I don't. I'm saying, like, it's the same work that we were doing with the horses, right? Like, if you're in there and you're feeling that unconditional love, like, you were the one that came up with that question, by the way.
What?
During the session. What does unconditional love look like to you? What does it feel like? And that is so important. It's the same thing that Tony Robbins talks about when we're in meditation. He's like, hold on to that feeling. Now intensify that feeling. Now intensify it even more. Now go even deeper. Now get it more. Because he wants you to be able to snap into that feeling immediately, right? It's the same thing. Like, okay, if unconditional love feels a certain way in your body, in your system, in your heart, it looks a certain way to you. Like, what is that look like? What does it feel like? How can you embody it so that you can always tap into it, know when you're out of alignment, when you're not in that unconditional love state? How do you get back there with that person, right? And I think every couple deals with this. Every couple knows, like, that time when they were on vacation, or that time that they had really passionate sex, or that time where they were having this conversation that just made them, like, their minds explode, or when they just gave each other a look across the room, or, you know, whatever that was. They know those times. Like, it's like, how do you get back to those over and over and again with that partnership? And so that way you can just constantly tap into it and know that, okay, this is when it shows up.
That being said, it is a surrender and a letting go.
Mm-hmm.
Unconditional love is a surrender
Always.
and letting go.
Yep.
I had a friend who's very into religion say that unconditional love is the way Jesus would love you. And I was like, because he said to me, how do you love your kids? And I was like, I could overcomplicate a lot of things. I don't overcomplicate how I love my kids.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because I unconditionally love my children.
Mm-hmm.
When people ask me how to be a parent, he's basically saying it's how Jesus would be to you, or how the universe is holding space, or how your soul is showing up for yourself. However you want to frame it. But for me, I'm like, have 2 rules with your kids. This is how you're a great parent. Love them unconditionally. I've said it. And don't just think you're loving them. Name it over and over again. Say it over and over again. Have that experience. And then show up. The second part's just really part of the first. Unconditionally means I love you no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally. And so that's when you're like, listen, you may have disappointed me, or I didn't agree with you, or I'm mad at you, or like, we got to work on this. But my level for love for you has not changed one bit.
Right.
That you could literally go do almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anything. Because here's like, we have this conversation with the girls. So I was like, well, what's something I do that really like would make you question? I'm like, well, if you hurt the other person I love unconditionally, that would be hard, right? Like if one sister did something to the other sister that really hurt him, that would be like, oh my God. Yeah. But like, that's like an extreme case. Even then, I'd still love my kid.
Yeah, but we're talking about marriage here. So how do you do that with a spouse?
You have to be in a position where you can get brutally broken and hurt. Because if not, you'll not be able to love unconditionally. You have to let go and surrender and just let go of control of whatever can happen. And that, I believe, is what makes love so beautiful in the first place. What makes love so special is that it could hurt you so badly, and you choose to do it anyway.